let's start with the standing roll down. I don't care how you do this for the first one. I just want you to feel where your body is now. So you're going to just take from the very top of your head down to the bottom of your tailbone, and you're going to roll your spine down. And you're going to come down as low as it's comfortable. If your back starts hurting, I want you to put your hands on your thighs and pause there. You're going to take this all the way down to the floor if you can, just a fingertip touch. See what happens to your breath when you're down here. This is a completely different position for your lungs. Feel kind of heavy in your head and your chest. And then by the weight of your legs, pulling you back up. Roll back up. And come up to standing. Now, even if we just don't pay attention to that, probably feel a little more blood circulation, a little more action in the body, a little more brightness in your eyes. But now we're going to pay attention. We're going to come into the awareness of what we want to do with our body, how we want to communicate with it, with our mind, with our mind. Yes, we want to come into wholeness with the mind, the body, and let's invite the spirit in as well. We might as well. So let's begin by thinking about the feet. We want to stand in that nice suspender line alignment. So coming to the inside knobs of the collarbones, trace just out a little bit. There's a little hollow about halfway out in the deepest dip of the collarbone. They kind of go down and back up. And right there, if you trace down, comes right across the nipples or inside that. And then it comes down to the inside of the hip bones, about an inch in. And then from there, you can trace that down to the center of your knees and straight out the inside of the big toes. Now, if you're standing like this, that's clearly not going to work. So bring your legs into that place of alignment. And I can tell you when I stand in alignment, and I haven't been practicing this on a repetitive, almost hourly basis, that I feel like this when I do it. Because I would prefer to stand like a duck with my butt squeezed and all that and my chest out. So of course it's going to feel awkward, but we're just bringing ourselves back into standing on the girders of the skeleton, letting the skeleton organize us. And that will then influence which muscles start kicking in to stabilize your body or locomote your body. So the next thing I want you to pay attention to is, where is your weight? Is it dominant on your right? Is it dominant on your left? Are you kind of like a little leaning Tower of Pisa here? Or are you pretty centered on your weight here? So if you're off, don't like shove it back to center. Just gently kind of encourage the other leg to take a little bit of the load. Again, just awareness, just knowing that that is your propensity is very, very helpful. To just bring yourself into that place that when you are loaded on one side or the other, you know, that side of the building is getting compressed. And we know what happens. We saw that happen in Florida. So now let's think about your kneecaps. Just for a second, kind of tighten them and pull them back. Okay, icky, right? What happened to your neck and throat and ears and mind? Now bring your knees just forward a little bit. We're not going into a big sloppy bend, but just forward enough that they kind of, there's a sound they make in your mind, which is, ah. Then feel where the weight is again, side to side. So pretty easy references so far. We have suspender line alignment. We have where is your weight side to side. And we have how do the knees feel. Now we're going to do our roll down with just this information, just focusing on that. And what I want you to notice that as you come down, you're going to feel that weight shift even more from one side to the other. And it may even zigzag down. You may roll down like, oh, heavy on the left, heavy on the right. And what you're doing is you're kind of can't move. You can't articulate through those really tight, congested areas. So I'd like you to observe that. I'd also like you to go from ah knees into a little bit more of a bend as you come down. As we roll down, right about here, right above the chest, we're going to run into a tight spot. So let's just try it. I'll walk you through it. We'll find another tight spot down here. So the head kind of lengthens like you're diving up off a dock. You know, not a big one, but just lengthen it and roll it down and roll every vertebrae down, and boom, there's your tightness. So the knees, soften your knees. Keep your weight even between the legs as you roll down a little more. Feel the tightnesses in your back. Just become aware of them. And then soften the knees a little bit more into a bigger bend. Knees are not out over the toes. You're just kind of coming down into a nice squat. And again, if your back really hurts, just bring your hands to the top of your thighs, and that's it. That's as far as you go. Otherwise, you're going to come down, and you're almost going to be, or you are going to be resting your chest on your thighs, just almost. Let your head hang. This is so hard to let that bowling ball or gigantic grape or watermelon hang down. Now for this one right now, I'd like you to just switch the weight a little bit from foot to foot, just a little bit, so you feel that. Notice you're looking at your feet, so you can actually see if you're in alignment and where your weight is. And bring your hands to the thighs just above the knees. Drop your tailbone into a little bigger squat. Draw your belly in and feel the legs slowly, with pressure, pump you back up as you roll back up. Now I just want you to shake it out, move around, and see what that one did. Now it took us a little bit of time to get into that, but that's a great way to do a standing roll down and check in with where you are tight in your back. I want to do one more, and this time I want you to think about how you're rolling the spine down. That you're just like a little roly-poly, or you're a nautilus shell. And I would like you to breathe. So let's go back into our alignment. Let's soften, let's check the weight side to side. Let's just kind of soften the knees. Notice that ungrips your tailbone, so it's not like that. And then I want you to think about from the tops of your ears all the way down below your tailbone. You're just a little roly-poly. And remember, when things roll, they use momentum. So we can move a little faster and take a nice breath in and soften those knees. Keep the weight as even as possible and roll the spine down. Keep bending the knees even more as you roll down. Let it hang down. Notice your arms are hanging like an 8 and your head is hanging. This time, take a breath. We'll leave the arms hanging. Imagine they're just weighted down as you roll up. And where is the weight side to side? See if you can keep it even. And notice how the legs and into the abdominals start assisting you to come back up. Turn this into a yawn and a stretch. Whatever feels good. Oh, your body knows where it's tight. It knows how to release its fascia. You have this amazing, very expensive machine right here, or piece of equipment that will do what you need to do to release your body. Okay, so let's go to a stool or a chair and sit down. Have your legs out in just a soft little V. I'm just going to give it a second since that was a surprise. You need a chair. And I would like you to take the back of your right hand and just put it up on your forehead, and it's going to come up just a little bit. Now, before we proceed, how does this feel in your shoulders? Those deep rotator cuffs. If they don't like this, like go from here to the edge of your eyebrow and down, okay? Pushing this will not assist anything. If you go small, we might get some progress. Otherwise, forehead up into the air a little bit, back less than half an inch, and then a howdy-doody wave. Just kind of shake your arm and feel your elbow heavy as it comes down to your waist and hand back in. So we gently go up. It's okay if the shoulder blade lifts and it comes up to your ear a little higher, not way back, just maybe a little bit. Heavy elbow and shoulder blade drip down. Let your arm hang now. Let's go back up and let's breathe in through the nose and gently out through an open mouth. Just let the air out. Not a purse, not a straw breath, but an open mouth like the bats need to come out of the cave. Nice breath in. And heavy elbow, soft fingers this time, and down. And let that arm hang and shake it out. Just for contrast, where's your other arm? Take your other arm straight. Ew, is it short? You better do this one. So now relax the arm we just did by putting your hand on your thigh and just say you are done for a moment. And now let's check the other side. Bring it up to the forehead. And again, if this is just crunchy out, ouchy tight here, you go eyebrow and down, okay? So up to the forehead, a little higher, slightly back. I'm talking half an inch, not very far. And then elbow. Feel the heaviness of the elbow as the arm comes down. Hand folds back to your belly like Napoleon. Back up. Not too far back. And wide. Think wide elbow. And shake that hand as you come down. I think we did that on the other side. And then up. How's the breath going? Are you breathing? Or should we kind of put one on just to see if it works? So here we go. We're going to inhale as you go up at your pace, not mine. Breath in. And heavy elbow back down. And let's do one more and we'll breathe in. Nose breath in. Open mouth. And soft fingers this time. Now we're going to let both arms hang down and just kind of a little roll and shake of the arms. Not a big shake, shiver, shiver, just kind of wiggle them around a little bit. So your elbows, just touch with your left hand to the back of your right elbow. Just touch that little knob and do the same with the other side. Just because we have excellent communication here, right? These are our conductors of information. Now you know where these little tips of your elbows are. So put those little sticky dots, like a blue dot or a red or orange dot on there. And I want you to pick up your elbows, boop, out to the sides and slightly back. And then let your arms go down. I know, awkward, huh? Do you feel like a scarecrow? So they go up and then elbows slightly back and down. Now, what I'd like you to see is, are the elbows able to lift without the shoulders lifting? See if there can be, you don't have to push the shoulders down, but see if there's just a little stability. You could even use one hand on top of the shoulder. And notice that if you come up too high, that shoulder comes up. So just up a little bit, just play with that. See if you can kind of glide this upper arm bone deeper, a little deeper, and it's kind of sitting deeper in its little slot there. Okay, so let's try it now again with both arms, and it's a little breath in. Elbow slightly back, breathe it down. So if you're a little bird and you're just fledging, you're in the nest and you just have a big fat worm and you're thinking about flying, you better learn how to work these little arms before you take off, right? So we're just seeing like, how do our wings float and move here? A couple more, just easy float. And you can feel how your wrists, you know, if they're like, I have a tight wrist and I can feel that it wants to come up and grip and drive this. Let's do two more. It's very simple, but this is also starting to open up our chest, our upper back, our shoulder blades, and believe it or not, communicating with our abdominals. Okay, hands rest on your legs. And let's talk about belly for a minute. There's pubic bone. Here's your primary breathing space between your two ribs, right? This is where the diaphragm is as close to the surface as we can find it. And in between is this big belly. Now, for most of us, just go ahead and rub it. Most of us, this belly has some control issues with us. We don't like it. We like it. We all this stuff. It's a place where we have a lot of emotional information. So just rest your hands on your belly. And I want you to feel the flesh of your belly. And I want you to feel if it's connected to information or emotion, like, ooh, that's fat, or ooh, that's soft, or anything. And then I would like you to let that go. Just poof, it's a little bit of smoke that goes up into the air, and the bubble pops, poof, and it's gone. And now you are just sitting here objectively feeling the skin and the viscera and the openness of your tummy. And does the breath come in down into your belly and just it slightly opens, not a big pooch, it just slightly opens. Just a beautiful, soft little flood of water. Just, like you just opened up the tap, pushed the button, drank the water. Let's see how it goes. Good, good. Now, if you bring your arms to your sides, the belly is still soft. It didn't grip and tighten. Now, why do we want a soft belly? Because this is actually where it's supposed to be. But when we go from stability to motion, we don't want to lock it down and then try and move. We want to engage this like a little octopus or a little squid moving through the water. So we're going to do our little arch and curl, and I want you to think about what's happening to the belly. So we're going to start with an arch, because I assume most of us are sitting on the front of our sit bones. So again, the legs in the slight V. Come to the front of the sit bones. Let your belly be a little bit more open between the pubis bone and that breathing space. And that's going to lift your upper chest and lift your throat a little bit and your eyes. Feel your shoulder blades melt down your back. Press your feet. Move those sit bones behind a little bit and feel how by pressing the feet, the pillars of the bones are going to draw your belly in, and you create this soft curve of the spine. Bring it back to the middle. Take a breath in. Forward and open belly, slightly looking up. This is soft and gentle, by the way. And press the feet and notice that little boom, the little scoop. The little energy starts working. A little ice cream scoop. Coming back. As you come forward, feel the breath opening in the body. This big, expressive, open feeling. And as you press the feet, the breath goes out, possibly, and everything connects and softens backwards into this little hammock, this beautiful little curvy shape. And then come back to the center and shake it out. You're going to do an elevated spiral to your right. Press your legs down. It's okay to glide the right hand back and the left arm forward, but not a push. And just an easy spiral and look up with your eyes. And then it'll kind of come back down the spiral staircase back to the center. I want to go to the same side again. Breathe in or out as you go. So here we go. Breathing. Oh, that was so much easier breathing, wasn't it? And back down. There was lubrication and it worked better. Let's try it again. Up, spiral, eyes looking up and back. Legs stay anchored where they are. Move the pelvis and the spine into that lovely spiral. Check out that opposite shoulder. It really wants to help. And bring it back. Okay, now just a little wiggle on your sit bones. Let your arms hang. And you may be a little confused about where you feel that from side to side because the spiral works both sides, but I just want you to feel that. Now let's do the other side. You know where this is going. We're breathing and spiraling and looking up and not over yanking our front shoulder forward and around and back down. Again, could be an exhale or it could be an inhale. What does your body instinctively want to do here? Does it want to go, or does it want to go? It doesn't really matter. Do two more. Just make sure you're breathing. And one more time. Legs stay anchored. Shoulders quiet. And back to center. Good. Give another little wiggle. I want you to find your ribs with your hands. And notice elbows fly right up to the sides because they've already been here. Into your right ribs. I want you to move your ribs into your hand. And then down. And then move your ribs into your hand on the left and down. And again, if this hurts your shoulder, you can use an imaginary hand. And over, and notice there's a little cross thing happening and a slight lightness in the opposite sit bone. You move the ribs into the hand. It's okay that the pelvis lifts. We're kind of cheating with a purpose, honestly. So we're trying to get these side pieces to open up. And I'm going to ask you again, are you breathing? The question I ask myself, hey self, are you breathing? Are you breathing right now? It's kind of a kind, gentle way of asking the question instead of, you're not breathing. So stop it with the reprimands. We've been conditioned to hold our breaths, hold our bellies, hold our emotions inside, not be soft and vulnerable. And it's exactly what we need, as a little tiny bit of vulnerability. Okay, back to the middle. Now release your arms and take your right hand back up to the ribs and reach them out and kind of pull those ribs away like it's sticky taffy. And then release that arm down. Pull these ribs away. Notice the breath just goes, because we're moving the lungs. There's no way your body's not going to breathe here. And right ribs out. You're going to see a slight curved side arch start to happen in the body, or you're going to feel it. There you go. Good. Now we're going to add in the other arm. So right ribs pull out and you're pulling. Notice that elbow lifting and pulling out to the side. And this arm shoots out like an arrow or a lightning bolt. If possible, the ear looks down at the fingers. And then back to the middle. And this nice sideways bow and arrow. And back down. And it's kind of a low scoop and a pull. And down, and a breath, low scoop and pull, and down, perfectly fine with the sit bones moving here. Open it up, stretch it out, and down, and open, and down, a little faster, a little more fun, a little less, oh, I've got to figure this out. Just nice and easy. Arm, the lightning bolt arm, if you're scooping down, it can't come very high without kind of some nerve tingle. If you end up here, you're going to feel it. So nice and easy, just sideways. And what's happening with your side neck right now? You're not trying to do anything with it. It's just going side to side. You're opening one ear up, one ear down, not really looking at your hands. Keep going. I hope your arms are starting to feel this. So reinvigorate them and give it a little breath, like, keep going. Whenever you want to breathe, just breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe. And let's do one more right and one more left. And then release those arms and shake them out. You're going to hug yourself. Take your arms wide and just hug. Lean forward a little bit and a little curl. Let your chin come down. And give a little bit of slight press on your feet to kind of engage the front body and release the back. Which arm is on top? You're going to release slowly up. And like you're opening a cape, open up and stretch out your arms. Are the tops of your fingers and the front leading top edge of your hand really above your shoulders? Back down. Which arm was on top? We'll find out. Cross the opposite arm on top. Press your legs. Hang that head. It's not really a hang. It's kind of lengthening out up there. Give a little wiggle. Move around that back. Slowly release. Imagine opening a big cape up, low shoulders. Good. Now, we are going to bring this into a patty cake, just like you're an accordion. I want you to feel the inside of your upper arm slowly pressing together. It's kind of low over the breasts or a little lower, and almost together. Turn the palms down. Imagine pressing into the ground. Now you're going to take those elbows back slightly wider instead of in. And lift your heart and chest and throat and eyes into an arch. And then press those feet. That's going to turn the belly and the sit bones. and reach out. Now I'm kind of almost touching my hands, but if that makes your neck and throat tight, go a little wider. We want to widen our shoulder blades and soften our sternum back. Elbows go up and back and just a little bit wider because they want to go close. Keep them kind of wide. Open your chest wide. Imagine you're like resting on couch arms here, chair arms. And take it back out. And ask yourself the question again. Am I breathing? Like right here, it might be like, that's okay. What about this? Oh, opportunity for a big inhale here. Because the lungs are just getting huge and opening. And out with your arrow, look just above your fingertips. And back with your pull, looking up just above the seam of the wall and the ceiling. Not too high up, but open the chest. Now we're going to go faster with this one. And fast does mean a little sloppier, but not way out of control. Smooth gliding forward and back. Make it smaller. And back. Forward and back. Move on the back of the sit bones, the front of the sit bones. Press the legs, release the legs, and press, release, press, release, and press, release, press, release. Couple more. Press, release, and press, release, and one more. Press, release. Take the arms forward again. Bring them up and out, and elbows back into the body. Take them out again. Not too far, they don't have to straighten all the way, just a little bit, like you're just going for a little swim here. Now we're going to add in the body. It kind of goes with you and pull those elbows back. And now I want you to think about your throat. It opens up a little bit, and as you come back, I want you to soften the front throat, lengthen the back throat. So you're actually looking up a little bit and look down and lengthen the back of your neck. And feel how your shoulders get really soft as you're just swimming through velvety water. Very soft. So let's do two really aggressively and see what that feels like. Icky, joint pull, can't breathe. Go back to soft velvet water. Breathe through it. Where your mind goes, your actions go. Where your actions go, your mind goes, right? Bring it up through the middle, up to your heart, up to your forehead, and out like a fountain. Let it go. Let the arms melt back down. Let's gather it from the ground a little bit more. Bring it up. It's okay to be silly here. It's okay to be playful. We missed that. We need that. Spread it out like you're throwing seeds in the air. Seeds and tensions, gather it up again. Or maybe just confetti. Woo! Something less important, something messy. One more time. Gather it up. Up, up, up. And this time pull your shoulders way up high. Stretch out your armpits and yawn and stretch into this. And then shimmer your arms to come back down. We're going to go back into wide arms and the big hug. Now release the hug being so deep on the body. Release it a little bit. The elbows have come a little bit wider. Gently hold onto your upper arms or just let them relax. And swoop that chest back in and come down into a little curl. Shoulders up by your ears. This time a little sideways swinging. You know, you could even clasp your elbows here, but a little bit closer and we'll kind of get where we're going. And then feel how your neck is just stuffed in there. As you come up, I want you to relax your shoulders first. Get really sloppy. So sloppy, I can't talk. And then roll back up. Which arm was on top? Open up again. And the other arm on top. Probably the same one. I think it's the same one. Widen it out. Hang it down a little bit. Rock it side to side. Feel that chest being sucked up in there. Shoulders up to your ears. Isn't it nice to have permission to have your shoulders up by your ears for a minute? And then slowly melt out of it and come back up. Okay, you're gonna wanna move a little closer to the edge of your chair because when you stretch out the leg, it can get a little pinchy. And I want you to take your right leg and just reach it out. I had something else to say about that, but it'll come back later. Okay, so what we want to do, just if you come forward, notice your back arches and your throat opens and everything kind of gets heavy and archy here. And you get a really fancy stretch in the back of the leg somewhere. But I want you to notice it's behind the joint of the knee or at the attachment insertion area at the sit bone. So come back up and let's do it again, but we're going to put a seat belt on, press with the other leg and scoop in. We're creating this contrast. And by kind of gathering all this in, we're going to open up the back side of the body. It'll be a different stretch entirely. So you reach out through that heel like you're a slow-moving train, scoop your belly in, and as you scoop, what is happening with the head here? It's this long, lengthened thing, like the top of a fishing pole that has a fish way out there instead of straight down in the water. And then come back up. Sit tall for a moment and take a breath. And let's do the other side exactly like we did, like where you just go with it, right? Just kind of feel that stretch. Okay, good. That's our normal unconscious. I'm going to just do this, right? But now I want you to find that nice lifted scoop, have a breath. Think about the heel slowly leaving the train station. Keep it moving as you scoop your belly, fold down. This time, shoulders have a little water dripping off them. Lengthen the back of the neck and come back up. Sit tall, press your feet. Use your breath. Stretch out that right leg, scoop the belly. Softness in your forehead and your eyebrows. And then back up. And out with the left leg. And bring it back up. We're still coming through the center, but we're going to take that right leg slightly diagonal. If your other leg's tucked in, make it solid. Scoop. And out. And maybe that doesn't make sense, that scoop thing. It's just as I'm reaching this way, I'm pressing and lifting and kind of drawing in at the perineum. And I want to go up and over this like a candy cane through the center and back. And I'm not going very deep, right? I could really go down there. I'm trying to jump out of the water like a dolphin while my leg is moving away. And I'm trying to breathe at the same time. Very complicated. Probably more complicated for your mind than it is for your body. And let's go out again with the right. Now this little scoop that we're doing in the belly, this little gathering, this little stabilizing is allowing the deep muscles around the hip bone and into the pelvis to really open up and make a little room in the body. Without this lifted scoop, without some support, these hip joints, these hip flexors will not release. They are like, I'm in charge of the world, and that's that. So one more time. Good. Bring it back to center, and I want you just to let your arms go and do just a little walk. Now, I think what I was going to say earlier is sometimes when we're sitting, our back goes into a really big arch. So I want you to just feel how your sit bones are a little heavier on the floor. And just walk your arms, walk your sit bones, going for a little walk. Good. And then bring it back to center. So we're going to go back into that pattern, but we're going to go front, front, diagonal, diagonal, front, front, diagonal, diagonal. And we're going to move a little faster. And again, when we move faster, the wheels start coming off the cart, things go crazy. But be free and easy with it and see if you can remember that we're reaching, we're scooping, we're lengthening, and we're having a little tiny smile on the corner of our lips. So here we go. We go out, bring it back. There's almost like a little hop with the legs. Bring it back to the diagonal. Scoop it forward and back, and scoop it forward and back to the front. A little more exciting. Bump and bring it back, and out. Bring it back, diagonal, out. Bring it back, diagonal, out. Bring it back, a little more exciting. And out, back, and out. Back, diagonal, diagonal. And again, front, and diagonal, and diagonal. Couple more, and check, are you scooping or are you just sloppy? And diagonal, and diagonal. Now, if you are sloppy, just tighten it up without getting upset. And what about those shoulders? Diagonal, diagonal, soft, like you're at a dance and you're just having fun. And you're like, I don't know this dance. I've had 4 beers. I don't care. Here we go. One more time. Out and out and out. Not doing this in Regency, England. Out. Take your right leg and reach it out and bring it up and over your left leg. I want you to hold this knee up high and then relax it into your arms. And then again, we can arch out here, but I want you to kind of draw the belly in and just a soft little fold. Press the foot that's on the floor so we have a lot of upward energy coming in. Come back up, bring this knee up to your chest and slightly across while you scoot backwards. It's okay here that the shoulders come up to the ears. And then gently open up the legs and give a little wiggle and shift. Legs will come back into a little parallel. Reach out through the left leg, cross it over, bring it up. It's up nice and high. Hold it in your hands so you have it. And then relax it. The side saying, I don't relax. So I'm really going to kind of give it a little shake and say, please relax. Particularly back here in the piriformis, right? And those deep muscles of the hip. So now we scoop, press the leg, and an easy fold through the center. Come back up. Help your leg come off and down. Now let's make it a little more dynamic. We're going to add a reach and a scoop of the belly, and then boom, bring the leg over. So it goes reach, lean it back, and scoop, up, cross, easy fold. Feel how you're politely lengthening up and over that leg. Bring it back up, reach it low, and push it out, and put it down. Where's the breath here? Out, push, lift it up, cross, and fold. And a little low. You're going to drop it into a low scoop. Low as you scoop back and down. One more time on each side. Whoop, and up and fold. Breathing. This is my breath pattern. You do what's yours. I want to get some junk out. That's why I'm breathing like that and down. Okay, I want you to come back up to standing and just walk around a little bit. Yeah, just like that. It's whatever works. And after you've taken about 5, 8, 10 steps, I want you to walk a little bit like a duck. Just walk around in a little circle like a little duck. And then come back to the center. And not a big turn into a snow plow, but a little bit with bent knees. I want you to take a couple steps. My mat is so sticky. It's like, good. And then back to the center. Take your legs a little wider. You're going to put your hands on the outside of the edge of your buttocks and your hips. Now, I'm not like way out here, right? I still feel pretty stable. So if that's here for you, that's fine. Make it okay. And I want you just to bend your knees and move your hips a little bit side to side. And then bend your knees and bring them forward and back. And Rocky Horror Picture Show, the scalp pelvic thrust. Yeah, I know, dating myself. And then come back up and bring your legs back into alignment. And see about where you are with that suspender line alignment. What about the weight from side to side? How about the knees? I've got one knee that's not saying ah, one knee that's going, so I need to kind of bring that forward a little, and that kind of evens out the weight of my legs. Now, what I'd like you to think about, we're going to turn around so you can see here, is we're going to talk a little bit about the sacrum, the lower sacred heart, which is above your tailbone and below the lumbar spine. And then we're also going to talk about the area of the top of the lumbar spine for a minute. So take your fingers into your primary breathing space. Just give a little tiny little poke and rub. If there's tension here, this is something that's really good to do just on its own, just sitting or lying down in bed. Just play with this a little bit. We hold a lot of all kinds of crazy goopy junk here. Now trace around the ribs by poking lightly underneath them to the outside corners. And if your shoulder hurts, do not go behind the body. Just do it with one hand. But then from these corners, you're going to trace straight back to the center, just straight across. It's really hard to feel those back ribs. And when you get there, take the knuckles of one hand, and I want you to rub across your spine from side to side. And it's very irritating because it's bone on bone, knuckles on spine. Ew, icky. But now when you release your hand, you know exactly where that is. And that is approximately the top of your lower back. How high it is. It's almost just below the bra strap. That's crazy. Look how much of your spine is your lumbar spine. Now again, you can do this with one hand, but I want you to go from that area that we just rubbed, and I want you to go down the little groove on either side of your spine. And I want you to feel out into the muscles on either side of the spine. And you're going to run into a deep canyon in some place where it goes really far in, and you're going to run into some really tight muscles on the side. I just want you to be aware of that area. Then come down a little bit and you get into the bones of the pelvis. And just like, almost like you rub your eyes, I want you to rub around the bones into the glutes a little bit. And then with a little bit softer knee, and curve your upper body forward a little. I want you to tap these glutes. If you can get down even underneath one and the other one. We love to have a strong butt, but it tends to really grip in the same repetitive patterns towards the center. And we need these muscles to be strong up and down and a little bit on the sides. Good. And then come back up, rub your hip bones, and rub your belly. Find your alignment in your stance. And rest your hands on your belly for just a moment. Feel how smooth and easy the breath in the belly is moving. You can feel how the mind and the gut, the belly have this fantastic relationship when we're calm in here and we're calm in here. Oh, that's a good moment. And we want to feel that when we're not in stress, right? Like learn how to sail your boat in calm seas. So you know how to do it when the S hits the fan, right? So let's go back to our standing roll down. Now this time, I want you to think about this throat. And your throat is almost exactly like your gut. It's almost exactly like your abdominals. And it does the same thing. So as you soften your throat, I'm going to cause myself to cough here. As you soften your throat, soften your knees. Roll down. Yeah, I got myself. How's your weight from side to side? See if you can bring it back in the center. Hang yourself down. The bowling ball of the head is hanging to keep the throat soft, to keep the abdominals soft. If your back is tight, put your hands on your legs to roll up. Otherwise, let those arms hang. They have no muscles. They're just bones. Tuck your tail, a little tuck of the belly without squeezing towards the center of the pelvis in the back, that sacrum. Just use the front belly a little bit. Gather it up. Activate those stabilizing muscles. They'll free up your locomotion muscles and come back up. Take a breath. We're going to do that again. And I'd like you to just think that this center column is just rolling down and everything else is just melting around it. Here we go. Lengthen. Take it down. Knees soften right away. I know that doesn't seem like a really cool forward bend. Bend your knees. You should be able to do it straight legs. Nope. We're trying to articulate our spine, get our nervous system, decompress, and open up the space around the discs. Equal weight on the feet. Are you breathing? Are the arms hanging? Is your head hanging? Are your knees continuing to bend? Chest almost on the legs, or maybe they're already there. This time, give a little wiggle and shake down here. Just wiggle it out, shake it out. Breathe. Drop the tailbone a little bit and roll up. This is going to give you a little strength in your thighs too, because we kind of come through the squat. No tightness in the toes, if possible. This time I want you to swing the arms just real easy. Soften those knees again, just nice and low, right? They're not coming up, just keep them low. Good. And then what we want to do is we want to bring our arms up without taking that place you rubbed your knuckles forward. So slowly swing them up and out. And I want you to find that place where you feel your rib cage start to swing. Somewhere probably about your nose or up. And if you think you're really cool and you're up here, but you're like this, oh, owie, owie, you compress your lower back. So forget that. Let's keep it low. Swing them again. Equal weight on the legs, soft knees, soft tailbone, not gripping. Good luck with all that. And then with a little breath, a little reach, there's a little action in the arms as they go out. Now what happened right there to your butt, to your knees, to the weight on your legs? Keep that lower back long and heavy. Keep the belly's going to start stretching long. It's not grip tight. Allow it to be long. It's working. I promise your abs are working fabulously right now. Now I'm going to leave my arms here because I can start to feel that. Now take your shoulders up to your ears and back down. Let's all lower our arms one notch. And shoulders up and back down. What happened to your breath? Kind of goes up. And then release the arms and let them swing. Roll down again. Remember the bent knees. We bend the knees, we bend the spine. We're keeping our weight kind of back on the heels, mostly a little bit on the ball of the feet. Slow. At some point there's weight on the toes, but they're not gripping, right? As you come forward, go down, give a little shimmy, a little shake, wiggle it out. What's happening in your face? Move your face muscles around. Nobody's watching right now. Make little mousy faces, wiggle your legs. To come up, heavy hanging arms. Drop that tailbone. Keep the knees bent until your hands pass your knees. And then you can start straightening your legs because this is going to allow that upper body to articulate. Ungrip your glutes when your legs come straight from the center. Back, let go of that, no more tight ass. Gently swing the arms. Feel your breath loosen up. And swing the arms up. Lift the shoulders up. Did T12 come forward? Did you get all tight? Lower them down a little, then lift the shoulders. And this time, we're going to bend the knees and roll down. Take the arms back up behind you, slightly straighten the legs. Bend back down. Roll the arms up. They're going to come up higher, but not straight overhead so you don't get T12 all upset. Bend and roll. Take the arms up behind you. Down you go and up. Big breath. Let's do it a few more times. All bending and straightening. Yeah, we're going to get out of control here. Just enjoy it. Think about organizing something. The breath, the alignment of your legs, the bending of your knees. One more time. Bring it up. Bring the arms down. Shake out the arms. Walk around real quick. Ooh, yeah. Find your chair. I'm just doing it off to the side next to the beautiful garden flowers. And stand in a nice alignment. So you can be facing forward. I'm standing this side so you can see what I'm doing. Equal weight on the legs. Suspended line alignment. Knees that say ah. Tailbone not gripping. Soft breath. Hanging long shoulders. We're going to roll down just enough to put our hands on the chair. Imagine you're going all the way to the floor and just roll it down, soften those knees. Check the weight side to side again. Hands gently on your stool or chair and soft elbows. Now I want you to feel how that front throat is really soft. Adam's apple back, The back of the head is hanging. You're not pulling your forehead down. No aggression in your eyebrows. Drop your tailbone a little bit. This is going to bring you into a slightly deeper squat. Check the weight again. It may have zigzagged side to side. Drop a little lower with bent elbows. So if you're a skier, you could just be like in a tuck right here, right? You're just going down, trying to get back to the lodge. Now, slowly, a little straightening in the back of the legs from the heel to the sit bone, and push into your arms as the legs straighten. And I want you to make the deepest part of your curve right in the belly button crease area. And draw your belly button up. Press into your arms, press into your legs. It's almost like you could do a handstand. Soften the knees, soften everything, go down. And let's do 3 more with a big exhale as we do this. Scoop it up. Bend it back down. Can you scoop and exhale without tightening your throat? And down, not a straw breath, let them out. Let the bats out. Shake your head just a little. Check where the weight is. It's probably gone somewhere. Don't get upset about it. Just center. Soften your knees, sweep your hands to your thighs, tuck that tail, and roll up. Feet just a little wider to kind of finish up here. Feet are forward instead of turned out. And just shift with bent knees. Shift your hips side to side. And then forward and back. And now start circling around your right hip bone with bent knees. So it's like if you have the gun holster on and you're like, here, we're going to meet at high noon. And then come back to the middle and swirl. The knees are bent a little so that the pelvis really, the hip joint and that where the femur meets the pelvis really gets the motion here. It's okay if the upper body moves a little bit. And now we're going to figure 8 it. We're going to go right and around through the middle, around the left. And just kind of move those hips and then slowly straighten up the legs. And you're going to notice that this is like a little shift from your weight side to side with a little bend on the leg you're heading towards. And now get your shoulders involved, kind of lift them up and around, kind of get everything moving. And then release the arms if they were on your hips and step just a little closer in. And now I want you to have soft knees and just let your arms whack and release. And then we're going to add in, it's not a big with the knees, just a little softening and a straightening, just a little softening when you hit. Soft, soft. And notice your back hand kind of whacks those buttocks, so let them be soft. Good. Bring the arms up a little bit. Soften the knees each time. And notice that you can kind of look side to side, look around the room, start patting yourself. It's more about the release of the arms than anything else. And then slowly let those go. Okay. We're going to do one more roll down. I only want you to take it as far as it feels good. Now you're just, your butter. Your butter, just be all greased up. Hot butter in the sun. Here we go. Oh, my feet aren't anywhere near alignment. Bring them back into alignment. Good. Feel sloppy. Just enjoy. Heavy roll down. Notice which parts of your spine are like, whoa, we've done a lot of articulation. Wiggle it out down there. Use your breath. And roll back up. And stand. I would suggest that you sit back down for just a moment. If you're like, I'm done, you can be done. Take just another moment to sit. Let's wave it forward 4 times. Out. Roll it back into the spine. And out. Don't worry too much about how it's looking. Just kind of enjoy the flow and the wave. And out. Just letting go of any other tensions that might be in the spine. Hands back on the soft belly. Shoulders not pulling down but relaxed. Front of the throat soft. Length up through the back of the head. Eyes just closed or looking soft. And just place your hands wherever you need to feel just the slightest little rise and fall of the breath. Don't even try and breathe. Just, it's there. It's there. You're there. You've arrived. The only muscles to pay attention to are these little ones at the corner of your mouth. And they just go up just a little bit. Feel how that opens up the entire body. Thank you. I hope you have a great time. And for the next several hours, your spines are going to be fully articulating and ready to move. Have a good day.